absolute shock. Now, no one's probably going to pick this up. This video will go into the abyss, and hopefully someone somewhere will get some traction with this content, because it appears as if I'm in shock. I didn't think this would happen. I didn't think that this was being worked on. I didn't think this was a thing. You know, the jokes that institutions are coming for crypto, and the first thing I think of is the ETFs, the talk about the ETFs. People who have Bitcoin, for example, as a part of some managed funds. That is already a thing here in Australia, like I've said a few times. Yeah, apps like Robinhood and the like. Other ways like PayPal to purchase crypto. You can go to centralized exchanges, yeah. But now this comes out. I don't know why I call it breaking news. No one's listening. But from a citizen journalist point of view, I guess at this point is uncovering crypto. I know Uniswap doesn't like Hex for whatever reason, although their front end you can run from your own computer and it works absolutely fine. I know they don't want to admit that things like PulseX even exist, or Pulse Chain. I'm pretty sure they haven't disabled that, and things like Hedron and the like. But this appeared in my feed, and it was. I'm still trying to compute this. It's like bringing the power of DeFi to even more people. Okay, cool. We have heard rumblings of KYC, AML, that sort of thing along the lines, in relation to Uniswap. But now it's like saying we've teamed up with, I don't even know who the Talos Trading and Fireblocks HQ are. Saying basically that they are able to. This looks to be Japan based, possibly. It seems like, more middlemen stuff, right? But at the same time, if you want price to go up, I'm just so torn between this, because if, for instance, you watch Charles Hopkins' video explaining about the history of cryptocurrency, how it came to be, and now fast forward, it almost seems as if we're being co-opted by the people who, in essence, crypto, when it was invented, was supposed to replace, or at least reduce their powers. Instead, it seems as if we're going to give all the powers over to them. Now, I guess in relation to the breaking news, in relation to the title, this article here, basically Uniswap Labs partnering allows institutional access to DeFi. However, if you look at something like Coinbase, it's pretty apparent that you are able to, create an account, whether that be individual or business, company, etc. Well, you can create a business account, and then you can access, quote unquote, crypto through a centralized exchange. And then haven't seen the front end, how it operates, but I'm pretty sure it allows you to access some APIs, and allow you to execute trades on DeFi, simply put. Now, somewhere in the liquidity pools, somewhere, somehow, some way, most likely you are going to be able to come across something like Hex, maybe even Pulse Chain. PulseX, Pulse Chain itself, I'm not so sure they're going to have those RPC settings, but then once they start discovering other L1s, maybe they get included, I'm not sure. I'm guessing the Power City thing has relevance there in terms of being able to go across chain, but also the change Changely, whichever one it is, allows you to do the same thing. But what I'm seeing is basically Fireblocks. All-in-one platform for building a digital asset, blah, blah, blah. So their website, simplest way, secure, and allows what? It's like crypto is being heavily co-opted, but it may not matter because, well, when I say it may not matter, if you want price to go up and you want more people to play in the DeFi space, you have the likes of what, eToro, BNY, a few BNB Paribas. That's some pretty large names there, like ANZ, NAB. Some other ones I'm not so familiar with. And then here we have empowering institutions to trade digital assets today securely. It's like, okay, what is this about? Basically says something about APIs, and you're allowed, you know, when you log into something like eToro, for example, when you have access to the trades on that, we download an app that's you're getting access to the APIs. Well, it says Uniswap's allowing access to these guys with Uniswap's APIs, which is fascinating in terms of they would rather trade on DeFi platforms, which, you know, is code, and you can like see the code, you can audit it more easy, you see the literal on-chain data. It doesn't sound like they're updating anything or changing anything drastically, but they would rather trade over there. Maybe it's becoming more easy to, you know, track and trace the transactions. I don't know, but it says here that some institutions are interested in DeFi. Generally speaking, DeFi lending protocols offer higher yields than many traditional financial opportunities. Now, this is what I guess was already known. Case in point is like literally Coinbase. When you go to play over there with cryptocurrency, but then in the back end they actually have access to DeFi, and that's, as it states here, that DeFi lending protocols, for example, offer higher yields than traditional finance. So maybe people are, you know, bringing their money into something like a centralized exchange, and they're making most of their money in the decentralized world. This is extremely fucking bullish. If for something like, you know, Hex, which is down a little bit right now, if you analyze our particular ecosphere, what is known, there is large holders of it, with the ability to perpetually dump on the market if they so choose. I mean, they could just stake and get more T-shares and scrape. In a way, that's kind of dumping for infinitely. But also, maybe there's some players who aren't known in the space. I'm not so sure. But if new players enter into the space, it's very easy to see. Like I said, Hex is probably the cleanest ecosphere in all of cryptocurrency, because you can see literally all the data on chain. You can track it back to the very beginning, you know, to the AA amplifier, and you can see who got what, who's done what, and who continues to do what. Like I said, maybe there's some players who are unknown in the space, but it would be easy to see, as we saw previously with some external actors, allegedly, reportedly, or they went on a stream and said they were going to buy some, you know, I think it was Hex of some sort, eHex from memory, and they entered in. You were able to see that on chain. Now, I think it's more important than ever to, I think people in the future might be coming for people's Hex. Potentially institutional investors, I'm not so sure, but once people discover how much better DeFi is, I can't see them not discovering other finished products in the space, you know, not just purely the things that are built on Pulse Chain, but Hex itself. You know, if you're somewhat of a Hex maximalist like myself, it does appear to be apparent that a rising tide lifts all ships. So I might have to shift my approach ever so slightly after watching Charles Hopkinson's, pretty sure I'm butchering his last name, the founder of Cardano, who worked on Ethereum as well, raised some very decent points, pointing out that, you know, people in the Bitcoin space calling everything else a shitcoin and openly encouraging regulators to come after everything else that's not Bitcoin and call it a SEC within the United States regulatory agencies is, I think that's unwise, especially since, you know, maybe they should consider themselves a part of the ecosphere. Maybe they consider, you know, the quote-unquote shitcoins taking away from their mad potential gains if they haven't already got them. maybe they feel as if, you know, how the hexagons, some hexagons may feel, whereby hex existed, and then pulse existed, the sacrifice for pulse existed, some other things existed on hex that just appeared, which were amazing, and then we saw some pulse chain actually came out, but then prior to that we did see some, you can see if you draw a graph, not so much on the price chart, but a little bit on the price chart, you could see different forks appearing in the community, different projects being proposed, multiple different projects being proposed and sacrifices, etc., etc. Some were more well known than others. I remember seeing the Fox one, or famous one, for example, was like a tweet, and you had the opportunity, if you so choose. Like I said, I stayed out of all of them except for Pulse Chain and Pulse X. But then over time, you can see the communities, support the different project XYZ. We continue to see that now, and different groups are forming. And this is, within a small, very small, relatively small community, on Pulse Chain. A little bit on Ethereum, but more so on Pulse Chain. We're seeing there's a chart, and I have no idea about half the tokens in existence. So don't listen to me for anything about that. But if you compare that to Bitcoin and its emergence, its creation, there will be people who would be the OG Bitcoiners, who then saw the rise of Ethereum, other different cryptocurrencies that came out along the way, and the different communities that formed. And maybe their opinion is, well, maybe people sold Bitcoin to go and enter into some AAs over there or AAs over here, and then that took away from the price of Bitcoin. But somehow, miraculously, the price of Bitcoin continues to go up and to the right, similar to its difficulty in being able to mine it through its hashing power and the ongoing halvings that take place. Some people don't understand that's what Hex's t-shirt rate is, but anyway, time will tell. Time will reveal all in regards to it's maybe the price of Hex. I'm not sure, on both chains now. Yeah. So now we're seeing this potential institutional money come into this space through the gates of things like Uniswap, which is absolutely fascinating. I didn't think this would happen, but it is, and I can't help but think, like I said, it's extremely bullish. I had to look up what an API link is. It says an API links a trader's account with a broker's automated trading system to execute trades quickly and efficiently to perform algorithmic, algo, or programmable trades in certain scenarios. So if you have don't quote me on this, but if you have an eToro account, and you want to actually trade some equities, you're basically using, your trader's account is linking up to their automatic trading system and allowing you to enter into their, you can see their books, what they reveal. And it basically looks like Uniswap is going to be providing that to companies like Fireblocks and Telos, who are then going to provide that to you. If you have a look here, again, I'm not shilling this to, I'm not saying go out, this is amazing. I'm just pointing this out. This is hedge fund, asset manager, broker, principal OTC desk, banks. I'm not sure what jurisdictions these are coming in from, because it does appear as if the US and the SEC is going hard after crypto. They are part of the J5. They also shared lots of data across borders. But then we see this, and I'm having a hard time understanding how it is that with all this, with all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt regarding the SEC in the US, and the treatment of cryptocurrency, why and how are these large companies then going, oh yeah, we're just gonna I can't see them sitting around their boardrooms going, yeah, fuck it, let's just go into DeFi. Who cares about the regulatory risk unless they have some data which is indicating something that we're not aware of because, it's behind the closed doors of the companies, which is very bullish for the whole DeFi space. Now, in turn, that is bullish for the crypto space. In turn, kind of bullish for the Bitcoin itself space. So if everyone in cryptocurrency can just chill if everyone in cryptocurrency can, relax on the tribalistic war footing and maybe realize that this is a information war, because united we stand, divided we fall. If we get told that, fundamentally Bitcoin is different to Ethereum, is different to Hex, it may cause some issues when it comes time to, if people are getting attacked, maybe you want everyone in all of cryptocurrency standing as a larger army instead of, you saw the movie 300, and yes, the Spartans did very well, but then remember at the end when the entire army rocks up, like all of the armies from that country, there was a lot more, there was a lot more people there. So maybe it's getting to the point of time whereby we need to actually rally everyone and push back. I'm not saying reveal everyone, I'm saying just rally everyone, and stand together shoulder to shoulder, because as I said, united we stand, divided we fall. And don't give up your crypto to institutions, because now would be a good time if you were to submit, give up maybe your T-shares or your Hex or your whatever, because times are getting tough. Rates are falling, inflation isn't falling. If rates actually do get cut miraculously, it just indicates that the recession is far worse than anticipated, and the economists mainstream media will have to recognize that. But it's not so much it's a wonderful thing. It's more that the economy is that bad that this is the action that needs to be taken. Now, crypto is separate from that economy, and that is why I want everyone in crypto to be successful. Not just the Hexicans, not just the Ethereans, not just the Bitcoin maxis. I would love to see someone like Max Kaiser, for example, come out and say, fuck the SEC, instead of saying everything that's not Bitcoin should get fucked by the SEC. I'm not sure he's directly quoted that. That is my interpretation of some of the messaging that I'm getting from that, and that is in itself is very fascinating, because I would have thought everyone in cryptocurrency, I would have thought personally, everyone in cryptocurrency would have done a little bit of research and understood why it is we are in cryptocurrency. Maybe everyone's version is different to mine. I'm not so sure. I don't claim to hold all the answers. I just would like to hope that eventually we will be able to have mad gains, but as well as holding our tokens and not giving them up. Because if we individually are going to go up against relatively deep liquidity, you could say, or deep capital, you might want to stand and have a united war footing. I'll wrap this one up pretty soon. Thank you for tuning in. Finbear, Joshua, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Kind of crazy. But yeah, and before I close, it actually says here that, funnily enough, recent reports basically say that for certain trading pairs, AMM, such as Uniswap V3 though, have proven to have deeper liquidity than centralized exchanges, maybe because people are actually pulling all of their tokens off the I would say less trustworthy centralized exchanges, who at times get hacked, lose your data, or just sell your data. The good old quote, picking up pennies in front of freight trains. and people are realizing that, you know, decentralization has deep liquidity, and now we're seeing not TradeFi, but actual institutional money potentially coming into this space. It's only going to get deeper. It's only going to get more things like Hex, you know, things like the wrapped Bitcoin, for example, on Ethereum will get more will be more sought after, is what I think is coming. Yeah. Don't laugh at my news, man. I know it's cringe, but hopefully, I you know, getting some of this message across, because that's crazy. What if I'll break here. Any questions in the chat of 3 people, sorry. My huge reach, my huge audience. I don't know if you guys that have heard this. I was like, what the fuck? Like, is this serious? Is this real? Like, they're like, oh yeah, you know, Dexes have deeper LPs than you know, well, Binance, so they're having some issues. Coinbase is like, they've been doing the whole Dex thing. Chainlink, oh, I'm not too familiar with. Oh yeah. Chainlink, like I said, I'm not too. I basically, not cut ties, but I basically focused heavily on the thing that made me perform the best. I don't research as much as I should, but when I see things like this, I can see it being beneficial for the whole of cryptocurrency. You know, Chainlink as well. Yeah, the Elon Musk clip, man. That was just low. I think I've got that here. I think, could be wrong. Yeah, we've all seen it. Did you guys see the ones from, I think it's Free Citizen Press? That was funny, man. And like remixed it. Have a look if I can find it. He's doing some pretty good work, man, Elon Musk, but he holds a lot of power, so it's going to be interesting to see if he enters the ring back into cryptocurrency just for purely for lols, because, you know, I can see him doing that. Don't know what he would do. I know he did his thing about Doge, but I can imagine if he's just like, yeah, I don't know what he could do. Maybe it's not really on his radar because, you know, I think cryptocurrency is a little bit smaller in comparison to, you know, other things in the economy at the moment, but more and more people are hearing about it, and they're definitely paying attention to some of this cryptocurrency stuff, because if they got like institutional money coming in, yeah, it's gonna be like everyone needs to be locked and loaded, because hedge funds, asset managers, brokers, banks probably coming for cryptocurrency, coming for your bags, which is not bad, but you don't want to be giving them up for the cheap, you know. I can't find it. Surprised I can't find it though. Hang on, should be able to find it. At the request of the chat of the admins, I shall find it. Yeah, I wonder if other people are going to notice this, that they're literally saying Elon Musk is coming. Sorry, Elon Musk. They're literally saying that institution money is showing interest in, you know, like, of all things, the Uniswap front ends, Uniswap's APIs. Oh, this one. Have you got? Did you see this version? Hang on, I'll change out my audio. 2 seconds, chat. I actually haven't seen the entire clip. Hey, what's happening, Dot? I was just talking about some institutional interest in DeFi, and I was like, what? Of all things, through Uniswap. Hang on, is that going mad? There we go. This one here, and then we're just gonna see if you guys want to bring up anything. And
there's a public perception that that was part of
this one
apology tour. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today. They stop. You don't want them to advertise?
No. If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
I love this remix.
Fuck yourself.
There's a.
But yeah, I haven't seen the whole context of it, what he was saying, but it's definitely doing the rounds on Twitter. He's getting lots of reach. Maybe we close it there, but yeah. Basically, summary of the stream. According to Uniswap's article, deeper liquidity indexes, which is in a way surprising, but the way things are going, maybe more people are realizing, you know, pulling their stuff off of DEXs is the best move, is one of the better moves, I would say. But then for them to allow institutional access to DeFi is crazy. I don't know anything about these other companies, what countries they're based in, but yeah, you can see here. For instance, hedge fund, asset managers, brokers, principal OTC, banks, Fireblocks, they've got some large partnerships. Yeah, crazy. All right, that is, yeah, and like I said, I think, based on that, I honestly think now, you know, not to focus in on Hex, because as I was explaining before, I think everyone in every single cryptocurrency community needs to sort of get their shit together in terms of, you know, not ripping each other to death, but because if we don't, institution money's going to come after us. If we don't, regulation could come after us. Then I also, you know, think about from Bitcoin, from its inception to us here in the Hexaco, it has its similarities, and people may feel, you know, as if other tribes have emerged and they don't like them for XYZ reason. For that reason, I think I might have to change my approach personally against other projects within the space of Pulse Chain, because we're such a small ecosphere, but we can sort of deconstruct what took place, or I can mentally, and see how different groups are forming since its inception of Hex, Pulse Chain, different projects, etc., although I don't always agree. But yeah, if we all get divided, then institutions might come in and just swoop up and clean us all up, which I don't want. I do not want it all, because that was not the point of cryptocurrency, in my opinion. All right, free speech signing out.